Christiana Gaudet with more answers to your questions about tarot. Today's question comes from Isaac in Mexico. He's 25 years old. He has 3 tarot decks, and the one that he likes the best is the Mary L. Tarot. His question is about that. What he asks is, what are your thoughts about the Mary L. Tarot? Is it good for beginners? And what about the meanings in the companion book? I've heard some people complain about them. Isaac, I want to thank you so much for your question. This is a very exciting question for me. I will tell you that I do not own a copy of Mary L. yet, but I did have the opportunity to interview its artist and author, Marie White, long before it was published. One of the interesting things about Mary L. is it was 10 years in progress, and she kept a website. Marie kept a website the entire time so we could see the cards as she rendered them. So the entire tarot community, or virtually the entire tarot community, watched this deck unfold over a period of many years. Now, I think you've figured out that Mary L. is not a traditional tarot deck, and in fact, there are some images in this deck that are quite controversial. I would say the Hierophant that shows the woman nursing twins is one that has some people scratching their heads. So the question you ask is this a good deck for beginners? Would it be on my list of decks that I would recommend for beginners? No, it wouldn't. It's not traditional enough. It certainly does not follow the Waite, Rider, Smith tradition. I think it's a little closer to the Crowley tradition, but Marie White, very freely admits that she's used her own inspiration. She's used her own understanding of tarot, her own study of tarot. Again, I think she honors Crowley more than she honors Waite, but she's created what tarot looks like for her. If this resonates for you, and it is an extremely evocative deck, as an artist, she is fabulous. And she is a real tarotist. She is not just an artist who decided to create a tarot deck. She really put her heart and soul into this deck because she loves tarot just as she loves art. So while I would not say that this is a deck for beginners, if it resonates for you, and clearly it does, it's your deck. And that's the thing that we all need to think about when we think about choosing a tarot deck, especially early on when we're just learning. There are a number of tarot traditions. If you want to learn one of those traditions, you need to get a deck that is of that tradition. If you want to learn how to read with a Waite deck, get a Waite deck or get a Waite clone. If you want to learn how to read with a Crowley deck, get a Crowley deck. If you want to learn to read Marseille, get a Marseille deck. I would argue that Mary L. is its own thing. I think that if you start out learning Mary L. Tarot and it resonates for you, you might have to read some more books if you want to pick up a more traditional deck later on. Is that a problem? No, you're a smart guy. If you want to learn something else later, by all means, learn something else. Don't think that you can work with Mary L. and then easily pick up another deck and make that transition. As I said, you'll have to read some books. I think you can handle that. So while not a beginner deck, this deck has clearly called you and clearly resonates for you. So I think it's a great deck for you. Now, okay, you've heard some complaints about the companion book. I don't know what those complaints are, but my guess is, again, it's because Marie didn't just copy and paste traditions from another tarot deck. Marie has really built something on the basis of tarot for sure, but something that pushes the boundaries a little bit, and some people aren't comfortable with pushing the boundaries. Some people just want to see a rehashing of the same old tradition over and over and over again, and that's fine. But I think, Isaac, that you may be someone, because this deck appeals to you, you may be someone who also likes to push the boundaries, just as Marie White does. So I think this is a good deck for you. Now, the larger question is, how do you choose your deck? How does each person choose the deck that's right for them? Remembering that you can use many decks, and that a deck that resonates for you now may not resonate for you in 5 years from now, and you may want to bring a new deck in. You know, you're not married to it. You can always try a different deck. But I think that if you find the images evocative, if you can look at an image and read the book and say, yeah, I get that, and I can think of ways that this card applies to me and applies to my life and applies to things I've seen in life. If that happens for you, if you can easily remember the meanings of the cards, if looking at the cards evokes in you more ideas, if when you do a reading with the cards, the energy flows and the information flows, then it's a good deck for you. Thanks, Isaac, for a great question. Enjoy your Marielle Tarot. Enjoy other tarot decks. If you want to learn other tarot traditions, by all means do. But don't let anyone tell you what deck is right or wrong for you. That's between you, your higher power, and the cards. And if you have a question about tarot, send me an email and I'll make a video.